In contemporary discourse, the terms sex and gender are often used interchangeably, yet they represent fundamentally distinct concepts with profound implications for how we understand identity and society. Sex typically refers to the biological distinctions between males and females, primarily based on reproductive anatomy and genetic makeup. Gender, on the other hand, is a more fluid construction, shaped by cultural, social, and personal factors, influencing how individuals identify themselves and are perceived by others. The confusion between these two terms can lead to misunderstandings and misrepresentations, especially in policies and social debates. It is crucial to delineate these concepts clearly to foster a more inclusive and understanding environment. By dissecting the nuances of each, we can better appreciate the diversity of experiences that people encounter based on their biological traits and the roles imposed or chosen based on cultural expectations. Understanding these distinctions is not just an academic exercise, but a necessary step towards achieving greater social equity and personal freedom. Throughout this video, we will explore the biological underpinnings of sex, the cultural constructions of gender, and the implications of their interplay in everyday life. This exploration aims to illuminate the complexities and encourage a more empathetic approach to how we interact with one another. Sex as a biological concept is determined by a variety of physiological characteristics, including chromosomes, hormonal profiles, internal and external reproductive organs. Typically, human beings are categorized as male or female based on these characteristics, but it's important to acknowledge the existence of intersex individuals, those who do not fit neatly into these standard categories. The intersex community highlights the spectrum of biological diversity that exists, challenging the rigid binary conception of sex. From a genetic perspective, most women are characterized by having two X chromosomes, while most men possess one X and one Y chromosome. However, there are exceptions such as individuals with Klinefelter syndrome who have XXY chromosomes, further complicating the genetic understanding of sex. Hormonally, sex is primarily defined by the dominance of estrogen or testosterone, which play key roles in the development of secondary sexual characteristics during puberty. These biological aspects are critical because they can influence various aspects of life, from susceptibility to certain diseases to aspects of physical development. However, they do not dictate one's gender identity, how one perceives themselves, and wishes to be recognized socially. This distinction between sex and gender identity is fundamental in understanding the broader conversation about identity and expression in our society. Gender is not a universal constant, but rather a complex construct that varies significantly across different cultures and historical periods. In Western societies, the binary understanding of gender has dominated, categorizing individuals strictly as either male or female based on societal norms about how those genders should behave and interact. However, many other cultures recognize more than two genders, such as the Hijras of South Asia, who have been acknowledged as a third gender in several countries. Cultural perceptions of gender are perpetuated through various means, including language, media, and the arts, which all reinforce specific roles and expectations. For instance, the prevalence of gender roles in popular media often portrays women in nurturing roles and men in dominant, assertive positions, shaping societal expectations and individual aspirations. These stereotypes can deeply influence personal identity and the social dynamics of interaction. Moreover, the fluidity of gender is becoming increasingly recognized and accepted in many parts of the world, challenging traditional norms and allowing individuals to express themselves more freely. The concept of gender fluidity acknowledges that gender is not fixed and can change over time and depending on the context, reflecting a more nuanced understanding of identity. This cultural shift is crucial for the development of policies that support all individuals regardless of their gender identity. Section 4. Implications of understanding sex and gender. Grasping the distinctions and connections between sex and gender is not merely an academic pursuit, It has tangible implications for everyday life and policy making. An accurate understanding can guide better health practices, as biological sex can determine the prevalence of certain diseases and the effectiveness of treatments. For instance, understanding that heart disease presents differently in men and women can lead to more effective and timely interventions. In the social realm, recognizing and respecting gender diversity enhances inclusivity and equality. It can lead to more nuanced and supportive educational environments, workplaces, and social policies that acknowledge and cater to the full spectrum of human identity. For example, policies that recognize various gender identities and allow individuals to express their gender as they see fit can reduce discrimination and promote mental well-being. Moreover, the legal recognition of gender diversity, which is gaining ground in many countries, is crucial for protecting the rights of those who do not conform to traditional sex or gender norms. Legal frameworks that incorporate a broad understanding of gender can prevent systemic biases and ensure that everyone, regardless of their gender identity or biological sex, is treated with fairness and dignity. Section 5. Conclusion. Embracing diversity and fluidity. To embrace the full spectrum of human diversity, it is essential to understand and respect the differences and intersections between sex and gender. This understanding not only enriches our interactions but also strengthens the fabric of our society, making it more equitable and compassionate. Acknowledging the complexity of these concepts allows for greater freedom and equality, ensuring that every individual has the opportunity to live authentically and safely. As society progresses, the lines between sex and gender will continue to blur, reflecting a deeper recognition of the fluidity that characterizes much of human experience. By continuing to educate ourselves and challenge outdated norms, we can support a future where everyone has the space to explore and express their identity without fear of discrimination or misunderstanding. The journey towards this more inclusive and nuanced understanding of sex and gender is ongoing, but it is a crucial path to follow for the betterment of all individuals and society as a whole. Embracing this complexity not only broadens our own perspectives, but also opens up a world where everyone can thrive,